This club and this president and some of these players have got arrogance written all over them. You've got a president who is arrogant enough to go out and kibosh the Spanish national team's World Cup with the whole Lopetegui incidents. Now, he wasn't not to blame either, but it was all part of one big sham. Then you've got one of the two greatest players of the generation leaving, and he's replaced by who? Thibaut Courtois, a goalkeeper who has to come in when you've got a very, very good goalkeeper already there and Keylor Navas, and you've got holes to plug in other positions. And then you've got the captain who has got the arrogance to think that Ajax are just going to be, bosh, I'll take my yellow card and I'll move to the next game, albeit since he's nonsense and that was double arrogance, he would have been suspended anyway. But that's how arrogant they have become. No respect for national teams, for coaches, for players, for officials, and for opposing teams. They just thought they could brainwash and whitewash everybody in front of them, and they got a big lesson tonight, I'm telling you.
Is it as simple as saying if Cristiano Ronaldo was still playing for Real Madrid, they'd be through?
No. I think unfortunately Santi Solari's got to carry a lot of the can as well. You know, we wondered about Zidane coming from the reserve team, but with all the big names, he managed to get them to actually play. He managed to get them to put that intensity in, particularly when they didn't have the ball.
Right.
Santi can't do that. I mean, Ali talked about the shape of the team. The back four was an absolute embarrassment. And you've got a World Cup winner in there in Varane, who you would expect at least to try and organise the guys beside him. And it's 4 experienced players.
Yeah.
Just a shambles. And I'm sorry, but for me, that's down to the manager. He has to, at the very least, get his team organised. He can't put the ball in the net, and he can't do anything when somebody just makes a bad mistake. But you have to be held accountable when your team is all over the place from start to finish.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it for too much longer.
I know, it's a shame though, isn't it? Because he's a casualty of the shambles.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that nobody survives this. Not Santi Solari, nobody survives this. I mean, he might as well just go into his office and start packing, because Real Madrid, there is nowhere else to go other than say, thanks, but no thanks. And it's not just Santi Solari. This is a team and a club that has to do a complete overhaul. Yeah. They were hanging on with the idea that the core group of players that they had was going to be enough for them to compete. But what they looked like tonight was like a boxing world champion that is hanging on one too many fights. And today it came the knockout punch, and there was no coming back from it. Real Madrid, honestly, I thought after the Atletico Madrid game, I thought that there was going to be a different version of Real Madrid. This was ugly, and nothing about this tells you that this team is heading in the right direction.
This is like a scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you've got Lopetegui's gone, done for. You've got a guy, and we know Santi Solari, and we're not giving anything, we're not giving anybody any favours here. He's going to have to go. Yeah. But he's taken a decision that he thought, I've got a chance here. He steps up from the Castilla, where he's probably got a job for years. He can't go back there now. You've got Gareth Bale, who's absolutely broken. You've got Isco, who's not even in the squad half the time. And you've got Marcelo, he's gone as well. Yeah. I mean, it's a bloodbath.
But it's interesting, one name he did mention, and we've been critical of Gareth Bale and not having much form. Luka Modric is a Ballon d'Or winner.
Mm-hmm. He's the best player in the world, right?
Supposedly. You wouldn't have thought that, in fact, that this whole season.
It tells you all those voting.
But today kind of epitomised.
And again, if the games are played on paper, then it's a different story. But, I mean, Casemiro, Kroos and Modric, that's a great middle three, isn't it?
It's a middle three that's won the Champions League.
Yes, on paper. But when they don't work and when they don't make good decisions, there's nothing else around them. So why... The forward line can't bail them out. Because the forward line, in my opinion, is atrocious. Benzema should not be playing at Real Madrid. Vinicius is 18, as I said, and you got Vasquez. I mean, seriously. Are they going to bail you out when you make mistakes? And not only are they making mistakes at the back, they're atrocious. They could be losing 3 and 4 games at home every single time they step on the field. That's not acceptable. So, front, middle and back are absolutely awful. And Courtois has not made a save all year since he got there.
You mentioned it, Casemiro, Kroos, Modric. Experience.
I mean, yeah.
They've done everything in the game pretty much. Why does this happen? Why are they not performing at a level that you would expect them to
I don't
be?
know about the exact numbers, but I know, I'm not bailing him out here, but Modric has played a heck of a lot of football.
Right.
And it does look as if to me, because he's not become a bad player overnight. Look, I don't think he was the best player in the world. I just think that was, some numpties going down a voting system.
Yeah.
But he has played a lot of football, a bit like Rakitic, Barcelona, that Croatian side played a lot. They just don't look as if they can get around the field anymore. It's way too easy in midfield. Ajax with some good young players in there, popping it around, Tadic dropping in the hole. When defenders don't come out to squeeze in and close that space down, teams are just popping it around them. And Chris and Modric can pass the ball for fun, but they're not getting around the field anymore. And there's only one way out of this for Real Madrid, and that's spend.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk about Tottenham in a bit, but, Harry Kane, that's the kind of player, like, they're going to have to start going after, getting rid of the Benzemas, getting rid of the Bales, getting rid of all these guys that are deemed not good enough for this team anymore, and they're going to have to go to Europe and the rest of the world, South America, and spend big on players like Harry Kane and other positions to get themselves back up.
To your point about that midfield and Casemiro and Kroos and Modric, and we just touched on Modric, right? The point of Toni Kroos, there were sequences today in which he dribbled the ball straight out of bounds.
Yeah.
A guy who's as clean as a ball as you would want anybody to be in the world. So then there is some personal responsibility there, but clearly there's a level of confidence that is gone. And it's very easy to lack that confidence when you know that you haven't been able to dominate teams in the midfield as you have in the past. Casemiro in particular, a guy that depends on intensity, on tackling, physicality. Today, Dusan Tadic is doing spinoramas around him and Casemiro's not even moving. So, again, maybe he's tired. Maybe we can give him that bailout. I'm not.
Right.
There is a point of competing here that did not happen from Real Madrid's perspective. At some point, when we've seen Casemiro at his best, somebody's doing spinoramas, he's at the very least taking a yellow card for it. That wasn't even happening today. They weren't even close to Ajax. Ajax seemed like they were playing with 20 people on the field, and Real Madrid was playing with 5. That's how mismatched this game was. It was all Ajax all the time. Real Madrid.
Hey, at least Toni Kroos never got bumped by Germany today.
Well, that's
like Müller, Hummels, and Boateng.
still
So
time.
I mean, it's a good night for him. I tell you what, that Tadic performance was like the James Rodriguez performance at the World Cup for Colombia, where Real Madrid just went, how much?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not suggesting he's going to Real Madrid, but he was a player that said, look at me, look at me, I can play on the big stage.
It was PlayStation.
Remember, it's a team game, by the way. When you're playing as a centre back, you're always talking to the guy sat in front of you in the centre of the midfield.
Right.
And he's always talking to you. If Tadic gets in behind the central midfield guy, the centre back's going to have a go at him for letting him do it, and vice versa.
Right.
So you have to play together. And you've got 2 centre backs today who were nowhere near anybody. No. So Casemiro doesn't know whether to step up or step back. You've got 2 occasions. Modric with a goal. He's behind the centre-backs. And then you've got Casemiro, who's having to make challenges as well. He's behind the centre-backs as well. So they can't do everything.